This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. We're your hosts, John and Kristen Barber, and today we're back with our second Middy, which, if you're unfamiliar, is a news wrap-up for everything that's gone on around the league while we were busy paying attention to the Washington Mystics. And again, it's a fully loaded slate. We have a lot to talk about, but before we get into everything on the docket, Kristen, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. I'm still kind of stunned by some of this news that's been happening today, especially around DeWanna Bonner, the fever. And I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about. So I'm excited to talk about it.
And we're gonna act like we know about it because, you know, maybe we're right. Maybe we're wrong. We'll see. So if you're new here, welcome. If you'd like to reach out to the show and let us know how you're feeling, if you want to talk to us about your team, if you want to let us know a topic that you'd like us to cover, you could do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com, or connect with us on Bluesky or Instagram at ATBPod. Check out our TikTok, also ATBPod. Lots of fun clips from the week's episodes. We just got done the other day covering the Washington Mystics, which was a blast. There's a lot to say about the Mystics, especially after a huge win last night against the Minnesota Lynx. So Mystics are on the way up. You can check that new episode out. That should be in your podcast feed. And if you'd be so kind as to leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you listen to, we would be so appreciative of that. And you would continue to help grow the show. So without any further ado, the topic du jour, the top of the list here, is DeWanna Bonner, as you mentioned it. A very fast news story that, you know, when we saw the news come out last night about how she was looking to, you know, have a breakup with the Indiana Fever, I expected this to be something that went on for a while. I was ready to talk about trade theories and what would happen if she got waived and what team would maybe pick her up. But all of this has basically been resolved in a 12-hour span.
24 hours.
Honestly, not even, because I feel like it came out as we were going to bed. But DeWanna Bonner has been waived by the Indiana Fever, as we understand it from Annie Costabile, who's reported after waiving, Indiana has asked, or DeWanna's team rather, has asked that no team pick her up from waivers so that she clears waivers in the 48-hour waiver period and then intends to sign with the Phoenix Mercury, who has Alyssa Thomas, where it all makes sense and everything will be, nature will be healed. What were your first reactions to, honestly, the news last night about this happening?
She requested out, I guess. She didn't really request a trade.
Right.
She said, I'm not playing for you basically anymore, which is something John's been very much wanting to happen.
Did I say that about DB?
No, just in general, you're like, oh, a player is going to sit out and not play.
I did say that about Marina and was very much proven wrong. She has very much, enjoyed playing in Connecticut. But yes, this is kind of similar to what I was expecting to happen with a player. Player empowerment is interesting. Some people say it's very bad. Some people say it's good. In this case, DeWanna Bonner wasn't playing for Indy.
Well, she's been away from the team for personal reasons for a while now. before that whole situation, before she was away from the team, she was just not really being played.
Right. Very underused for a 6-time All-Star, likely first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep. So, like, I think this has all been brewing for a while and it just hadn't come out yet. She clearly, I mean, if anything really is going on in her personal life, you know, family members, whatever, needed her to be away from the team. We hope that everything is okay.
Right.
But it's also possible that she just didn't want to be part of the team, part of the organization anymore. So she stepped away and wasn't coming to games. So I do think, I'm not sure how much of this is just because she perhaps thought she was going to be starting and then she ended up not starting. Really, like, Lexi Hall is essentially starting over her, which is wild because they're just like not the same type of player. I do think, you know, she was in Connecticut last year with Stephanie White. Everyone hoped that that situation would be better than it was. I think things were understandably disappointing in Connecticut. So she comes to Indiana. I think everyone was excited for that. I think she wanted to come play with Stephanie White still. I'm sure Stephanie was encouraging her, saying she'd be, you know, have a big part on this team, that the team would be winning and the team would have success. And like that also hasn't really been happening much lately.
Right.
The Fever are basically 500.
Right.
So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff like logistically in that sense, that things weren't just working out how DeWanna expected. But I also think there like really has to be stuff going on in the locker room
Of Indiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where DeWanna felt like she didn't fit in with the other players on this team. And I don't want to speculate who, and I don't want to
No.
start anything, but like I think it was made clear that she felt like she didn't fit in with this organization.
Right. And this is what leads to something like this coming to a head. Like this doesn't just happen purely because of playtime or like ideological difference in play style or anything. Like there has to be some behind the scenes stuff that we may never hear about. We may never hear any reporting about what happened behind the scenes that drew this to occur. But at the end of the day, DeWanna Bonner was waived. She's no longer with Indy. And honestly, last night, as we were getting ready to go to bed, I said to you, like, it doesn't make sense for Indy to waive her because of who she is. She's a very good player in the twilight of her career. However, I was doing theoretical trade packages and trying to figure out like what it would take. But like Indy has nothing to gain or lose from a player that's not playing with them right now by just letting them go for free. Like you would expect them, if this were, say, the NBA, DeWanna Bonner would be effectively held for ransom for weeks on end until the trade deadline on August 7th. And we would get whatever the lowest package was, or they would cut her that day. And instead, kudos to Indy for just letting her go and resolving this before it became a bigger issue, because this is now the story leaking. Like it could have gotten really worse, and maybe they don't want the media attention from all of this now. And at the end of the day, it looks like she's going to be headed to the Phoenix Mercury. And the fun wrinkle to me right now, as the standings are, Indy is the 7th seed, half a game behind the 6th seed Golden State Valkyries, who they've played one more game than Golden State. But imagine the playoff implications, the potential storyline here. If Indy were to end up in the 6th seed and Phoenix were to stay in the 3 seed, and it was AT and DeWanna Bonner versus Indy again, like the first round of the playoffs last year.
When they were on
Connecticut.
Yeah.
It would be amazing TV.
That would be really funny.
But I honestly think DeWanna Bonner's fit with Phoenix should be pretty good. They're lacking in size a little bit. They've got a ton of shooters. I don't know how she's going to fit in, in a play style that might be shoot. But that doesn't mean they can't run some options for her. And of course, she's going to know how to play with Alyssa Thomas. So I just believe that there's going to be some juice there for, Nate Tibbetts to squeeze here. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good it's a good ad for Phoenix to add a 6-time All-Star to their team.
Right. Either way, then that's a good thing.
Right.
I do think it's possible that she told Indiana, like, if you don't waive me, I'm just retiring. Because I did see it was written in some article that she said she considered retiring instead of going through all this. So
instead of going through the waiving and the whatnot.
Yeah, like if she was thinking like, well, do I really want to go to a different team? Do I want to stay here? What do I want to do? I could just retire.
Right.
So she probably told them, well, you can waive me. You can do whatever you want. I'll just retire.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she didn't, because that's just, that would have been an issue with the legacy, I'm sure, for some people. But she ended up getting out. Hopefully she does well in Phoenix. And we can talk about her again, because it's been a while since we've gotten to talk about her playing basketball. So that covers the big news up top. Why don't we continue to talk about Indy? Caitlin, bit of a shooting slump, to say the least.
A bit.
3-game sample size. But she's currently 1 of 23 from 3 in her last 3 games. Indy won against Seattle last night, as we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. But she kind of has a bit of a home and road issue right now from beyond the arc. She's 1 of 28 on the season from 3 on the road, which I don't really know how that happens, because she hits pretty decently well. She's above league average at home. I think she's 22 for 50 in Indy, but I don't know what it is. But a lot of people on the internet think they know what the reason is. How about you go through some of the litany of potential reasons why she might be having a shooting slump?
There's lots of reasons people say. We have to go back to the game that they played against the Connecticut Sun that got very physical, which she started having this slump immediately after.
Right.
I believe. One of the reasons is that her vision has been permanently damaged. Permanently damaged. Her depth perception permanently damaged because of when J.C. Sheldon accidentally poked her in the eye. And next is, I don't like this. Some of these are very funny. Some of them are not funny. The next one is that she's scared of being bodied. And there's so much people throwing around the word thug around her. She's just being pushed around by all these other thugs. And that's no.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
This is a woman who's playing professional sports. She can get pushed around a little bit. So that's an unacceptable reason. But a lot of people are saying that. She's scared of being punched, I guess. Another reason is that the league sat her down, and Kathy and the league told her to cool it a little bit, because the league's darlings in the Aces and the Liberty have to keep getting the spotlight.
What? This is the first time I'm hearing that one.
Oh, yeah. The league told her you need to calm down a little bit.
The Aces who have a worse record than them? Okay.
She's overshadowing Asia, so she needs to cool it. Even though, literally Indiana is every other headline of the entire news cycle, when it even has nothing to do with them. That's hilarious. Someone was saying that college basketball just can't translate to the W.
Nope. The basketball's different in college. It's just completely different.
No one that's been good in college has ever been good in the W.
No.
Doesn't translate.
Nope. You have to be bad in college, actually, to be good in the W.
And another reason is because it is sad, but is because her dog is old, and she's so sad that her dog's old.
Yes.
Yes, that's sad.
It is sad, but I don't think it necessarily affects you in a week long. I mean, I guess it could, but like the fact that somebody is like so sure that this is the reason why she's missing her threes at such a rate. I can tell you the real reason why she's missing her threes. It's because very common in sports, when you're a standout rookie, sometimes the second year has a little bit of a roller coaster. It's called a sophomore slump. It happens. It happens to a lot of really good players. And this is not going to define Caitlin's career for the rest of her time in the WNBA. So the people that are going way over the top and saying it's over for the league because Caitlin has made 1 3 in 3 games,
literally
need to cool it. Just cool it.
Like people saying, if she doesn't come back and lead the Fever to the playoffs, she's done with the W. She's going to quit the league. The league is broken. It's the survival of the W is at stake here. Like I'm literally reading a comment. It's just crazy. You're right, sophomore slump. She was also just out for a couple games because she was hurt.
Right.
So like she's recovering.
Yes.
And like, oh my God. It's just crazy.
It's just,
Can we please just not overreact like this?
Yes, she is a very talented player. Indiana is going to make the playoffs, but it just, take a breath. Do some yoga. Like, chill out. It's fine. It's fine. That was a good win against Seattle last night. There you go. Like now you're back at 500.
Right, but Caitlin didn't contribute to it.
Well, she did. She contributed something. She just didn't hit a 3.
Sure.
And,
or many points in general.
Eventually the threes are going to come back.
Exactly.
She's going to be an all-star, too, because she's leading the all-star voting. So there you go.
And maybe, like, can people take this as an opportunity to learn about some other players?
Yes. Perfect.
That are having great games.
Yes.
I, of course, want Caitlin to do well.
Yes.
I, of course, want her to not be struggling on the court.
Of course.
And I want her to be lifting up her teammates and the whole team to, be better.
Yes.
And it just sucks in general. Like when you feel like your team has had such high expectations and currently they're struggling. But look, this is exactly what happened at the beginning of last year with the Fever. They struggled a lot in the beginning and they quickly figured it out and shot up in the standings.
Right. And that's exactly what's going to happen this year. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
It is reactionary takes, which is very common in sports. So like, take a breather. They've only played 14 games.
Yeah, it's just fine.
They got 30 more to go. She'll be fine. And last thing I'll say about Indy, you got Ari McDonald back. After waiving DeWanna, you signed your demon who helped you win while Caitlin was away. So congratulations. Indy got a really good player. Ari McDonald's been playing very well for them. Moving on to our next subject. We mentioned this on the last Middy, which was 2 weeks ago. Yueru had requested a trade then. She had requested a trade before that. And we thought about some of the places where it would make sense for her to land. And she ends up in one of those places, Dallas, a place that needed a big, Tierra McCowan, over in Eurobasket. And Lee, the 6'7" Chinese center, ends up with Paige, who is now her best friend. And that rules. And it's very clear to see that this trade had immediate effect on this Dallas Wing team. Since Lee has joined the team, of the 4 games that she's played in, they have won 3 of them after having only 1 win before that. So seems like she's adding something. She's averaging about 24 minutes, 7.3 points per game, 7.3 boards, 1.5 assists. She's been really good at the line. I learned now that she's a career 90% free throw shooter. For center is really, really good. She's hitting about 86% this year on a decent amount of attempts. And last night, in a win over the Atlanta Dream, who are the 4 seed right now, a 10-win team, she had 10 points and 15 rebounds. She's doing quite well.
Yeah, she's doing
How you
great.
feeling about Lee?
I love it. I love it for her. I love that she got what she wanted. and is getting more playing time. And this situation also was resolved very quickly. Like, I feel like this also could have taken months to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
But they said, okay, we'll trade you, and here she is, and she's doing amazing. I love that. I am very curious what's going to happen when the other two bigs come back from Eurobasket, Tierra McCowan and Giesel Soder. So we'll see.
Right. At that point, you're going to have Lee, Louisa, Tierra, Maisha Hines-Allen, Alyssa Smith. You're going to have 5 bigs, and it may be, but you, like, literally, Chris Koklanis cannot sit her. You can't just put her back on the bench. Plain and simple. Somebody is going to have to be, you're going to have to find a way to increase your rotations and make sure that she's playing, because they're winning basketball games. And everyone, and especially all the people that were destroying him, like, he's seeing wins now. He cannot screw up the formula, or else he's going to continue to get heat. So, like, here's a clear difference maker in Yueru, and I think that's awesome for Dallas, because it's exciting to see Paige win, because last year with Caitlin, it was, like you said, a very similar start, a very slow start, and then they started to win, and Paige has been amazing too. Dallas is starting to figure it out.
Yep. And we also got a little cutesy drop of confirmation of Paige and AZ dating. That
should have led the show with that.
We should have. That's major. That's the headline news.
Major news.
Even though we knew it, but
Correct.
you don't think it's true, but you know, but you don't think. AZ had her picture with that says her phone case. It said Paige Becker's girlfriend. That's hilarious, because she probably just like ordered that off of Etsy.
Right.
But for her, it's true, and that was so funny. And then AZ was at the Washington Mystics and Dallas game that we watched this week, but she was wearing a Mystics jersey. She wasn't wearing Paige's jersey, which was funny.
Yes, very funny. Georgia Amore jersey, right?
I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, just like gotta throw him off the scent, even though I already revealed it to the world.
Right, like you're still trying to be subtle, but
well, she said like the TikTok that revealed like that obviously revealed it before it was fully revealed in the picture, was like, is that not obvious enough for you guys? Now I have to literally spell it out for you on the back of my phone case. But
people will still be like, oh, they're just funny friends.
They're just really, really good friends, and this is a bit. No, this is not a bit.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the hard launch, I guess, of Paisy. I don't know what people call them.
I never heard that, but
I'm sure somebody calls them something. Let me know. Send us an email. Attack the baseline.
Wait, friend of the pod, Laura, just sent us something.
Oh, just now?
Apple TV announced a new 3-part docuseries featuring the University of Connecticut women's basketball team and 2025 NCAA championships.
There you go. If you want more Paige, more AZ, or KK Arnold, more Sarah Strong in your life, go check out that documentary. Sounds like it's going to be a good one, honestly. So that'll cover Dallas. Do you want to move over to how things are shaping up in New York? It's been a bit of a rough patch for the Liberty.
Also a little bit of a rough patch, yes, for the Liberty, for Jonquel Jones especially. She's going to be out multiple weeks with an injury.
Yes, very sad to watch her go down the other night, grabbing her knee, but it was an ankle injury. She had her foot in a boot off and on throughout the start of the season. So I guess she came into this season a little bit on the injured side, and she must have tweaked it a little extra bad. But yeah, 4 to 6 weeks for Jonquel is a bummer, and it clearly has had an effect on that Liberty team. Over their last 4, they've gone 1-3. So they've lost 3 and that was after they were 9-0. So kind of a bit of a tough moment, but I'm pretty confident that New York will figure it out. It's, again, a very long season, and they've got, reinforcements returning, for them as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's really not much else to say about New York. Just that don't overreact if you're a New York Liberty fan, obviously.
Well, they're not.
They're not. And that's because they understand, because they're champions. Because they're champions. And they're going to figure it out, and JJ will be back, and she'll be stronger than ever. and they'll get back to winning.
Well, something else when you said that the season is long, something else I saw that people were saying is that there's too many games.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that's why that Caitlin is having a bad stretch because they're playing too many games. When Caitlin literally has played the least basketball of probably anyone in this league lately because she didn't do anything in the off season.
Right, nothing in the off season.
Obviously completely fine. She deserved to take a break.
Absolutely.
But
that cannot be. That's such a goofy reason as well.
It's just funny.
We added 4 more games to the schedule. 40 is too much. No. Now, for what Phoenix has gone through with 9 games in 18 days, yes, that's too much. There are problems with the schedule also, but it's not about the total number of games in a season. That's a problem. That's
and
ridiculous.
It's way shorter than the NBA.
Correct.
All the players go overseas or play it unrivaled because they want to keep playing and because this league doesn't pay them enough to not do that. But yeah, that's just another reason.
Just another reason. Okay, moving on to our next topic here. Eurobasket is entering the semifinals as of today. We had the results come in on the quarterfinal rounds just this morning and this afternoon, and the semifinal games will be played on Friday, June 27th. But if you haven't been able to follow Eurobasket, which, it's been a little tough to maybe find a stream for some people, but if you go on FIBA's website, there are some, solid box scores that show how everything has gone. We're down to 4 countries. France is going to play Spain in the first game, and Italy is going to play Belgium in the second game. Now, to remind us who in the W has been with those teams, or, W adjacent. From France, you have Janelle Salon, who's been playing very well. You have Ileana Rupert, a player that has been on a suspended contract with the Valkyries, who's also been playing really well. And it would be interesting to see if she comes back to the W once the tournament's over. Mariam Badian, who is with the Minnesota Lynx, has also been playing with France, as well as Layla Khan from Connecticut. So we'll be curious to see if those last 3 return. Obviously, Janelle Salon will be returning to Golden State. And then in Spain, there's not anybody currently active in the W, but there's draft prospects like Awa Pham and Raquel Carrera, who was on a training camp contract with New York, but decided to bail out of the W season, mostly to focus on Eurobasket. Today in the quarterfinal, she had 31 points. So it will be interesting to see if Raquel Carrera gets a nod now that once the tournament's over. And then looking at the other 2 games, in Italy, you have Cecilia Zandelicini and Lorella Kubai playing against Belgium's Julie Van Loo, Julie Alimond, Kiara Linskens, and Emma Miesemann, who people continue to believe will join a contender once Eurobasket is over. I don't know if I believe that, but you never know. She has the right to return to the W if she would like to. And honestly, we hope so because she's a very good player as well. That's Eurobasket. And then lastly, why don't we talk about All-Star voting, which we were revealed the first, voting results.
Early totals.
And there have been a lot of reactions to what we've seen.
Yeah, some super interesting things. At least in the top 10, we had Kiki Iriafen at number 10.
Pretty cool.
So cool. I love that rookies are getting a nod. Obviously, Paige Beckers is up there. She was number 6. And then we had, when we were watching the Mystics, they mentioned Sonia Citron having votes, but I don't see her in the top 25 at least.
Yeah.
But very good of Kiki. There are 4 Indiana Fever players in the top 10, which is not surprising. Not surprising. Who's that? That's Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall, and Kelsey Mitchell, right? Yeah. So Caitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey Mitchell were all in the All-Star game last year. Lexi Hall was not, but Lexi Hall's been playing well.
She has been.
So fine. I get it. It's just, and when this is fan voting, that's what happens. You have a bunch of fans voting for their players on their team.
Right.
I do just hope that there is representation from every team.
Right.
So I really hope that like someone from Connecticut and someone from Golden State who have no players in the top 30
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah.
I hope at least one player from both of those teams I hope is represented.
I think that's typically how it is. Like, obviously the vote is not all fan votes. It's 50% fan votes. That's the biggest part of the vote. But then 25% media and 25% coaches. Like, it's going to return. We're going to see, players like Ryan Howard, who on this initial thing where she's like 26th or something, 25. Like, she's going to be an all-star. I would expect her to be an all-star. And even at that point, I guess she would probably just miss the cut. But like, it's not going to be all completely reflective. And, I believe like Kayla Thornton should be an all-star. If you look at Connecticut, Marina Mabry probably should be an all-star. Now she's going to be hurt, which could affect her potential.
Well, yeah, that's also like, I imagine Marina wouldn't be there.
Tina Charles.
Jonquel is up here high, but she probably wouldn't play because she's been hurt.
Right.
So those sorts of things. Damiris Dantas is actually 30.
Damiris Dantas.
Well, didn't you just say she was cut?
Damiris Dantas, I did say was suspended. Her contract was suspended. I can't exactly confirm what the reason was. I just saw that on the transactions list, probably just as they're moving players around here in Indy. But yeah, she's top 30.
Well, yeah, but then she presumably wouldn't be there if she's not on a team.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't expect her to be, like, the coaches and the media are not going to.
Well, I'm just saying some of these top people won't be there.
Right. Yes.
So the people move up,
Correct. And, one of the things that we noticed, I noticed the other day that I got a notification from the WNBA app, and it was like, vote for your favorite Fever players. And I'm like, I don't think I got a notification for, say, my favorite Seattle players or my favorite Atlanta Dream players. So, like, not to say that the numbers are inflated, but like, I just think that's kind of funny that you get that. And of course, all of these broadcasts, all of these announcers are saying, vote for our players, and they'll put up a QR code. And if you scan the QR code, it automatically fills in. Like I did this for Washington when we were watching Washington. It filled in the 6 Washington players that are up there in fan voting. So like Kiki is benefiting off of that, and Brittany Sykes is benefiting off of that. But it's just like, okay, I want a notification for every team.
Yes. You should get a notification for every single team.
Every single day. I should get 13 notifications every day for every team.
Well, you can like set which teams are your favorites.
Right.
So whichever teams you set as your favorites, you should get a notification for. Yeah, probably every day. But like every single team I have selected as my favorite because I want to get notifications for every team. And why is the only team I'm getting a notification for is the Fever.
Right.
When they already have 4 players in the top 10.
Right.
Those are just questions I ask myself.
Yeah, these are just, you look in the mirror and you're like, what the heck's happening?
As I continue to have beef with the WNBA app.
Correct. It's not the best app. It's good. It's fine. It's not the best app. That's all I have. All-Star voting continues. Continue to vote for your favorite players. If you want somebody to be in the All-Star game, you have the ability to do that by voting. So make your voice heard. Go vote.
Love it.
That's it.
Of course, the All-Star game is in Indiana.
Yes, right. And that impacts it too. And I'm sure that's one of the leading reasons that you see that.
Yeah, but still.
Still.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's all.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Middy. Hope you enjoyed our news wrap up. We're going to be back at the end of this week, start of next week, talking about the Connecticut Sun. Again, if you'd like to send us an email, you could do so at tackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us on Bluesky or Instagram at ATBPod. Check out our TikTok, ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you'd be so kind on whatever platform you use. And Kristen, as always, I am staring at the baseline. What are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back very soon with more WNBA.